Hello, Ritzy Roy here. This is back to the Before You Main series, and now I am covering Ganondorf. So let's select him on the screen, make sure my music's playing. Alright, where is he? Here he is. Song's kind of loud. Okay, so for Ganondorf, the guy actually, it's probably going to be a bit shorter, because Ganondorf is not really a technical character. That's actually one of his weaknesses, is that there's not too much tech or things in Ganondorf. Ganondorf is more about, can you get into the mind of the person you're fighting? Because you don't have a lot, but what you do have is the thing that all beginners are very familiar with. You have a lot of power. You don't have insanely good combo game. You have more kind of how Cloud is, where it sequences in advantage state. So the skill cap with Ganondorf is definitely going to come down to how far can you push those sequences in advantage state and how much can you read someone. But your neutral is absolute trash. So that was basically his pros and cons. But yeah, let's go over his pros. His pro is he does a lot of damage. He hits really hard and has big hitboxes. That's his pro. His cons are his neutral is probably some of the worst in the entire game. His recovery looks decent, but it's absolutely trash when it comes to edge guarding. He has a humongous hitbox. He's combo food. He sucks at escaping combos himself because he has that really slow air dodge. His disadvantage state is among one of the worst in the game. And it was one more con about him. Oh yeah, you don't have projectiles, which means you can't really do the keep away style too good. But to make up for that, you have insanely good damage. Like, you have really nice damage. I know the cons seem really discouraging, but remember, you're gonna hit like an absolute shock with this character. Probably some of the best damage in Smash history. If Sephiroth wasn't in the game, I would say you're one of the hardest hitters, but I think Sephiroth might hit he either hits just about as hard as you, or he hits harder. Sephiroth is actually if you want a Ganondorf-like character who's viable, I suggest you try out Sephiroth, because they're kind of similar in weird ways. So, let's see. Some things Ganondorf excels at is he has really good edge guarding. He usually has to hit you like a few times. He has the fabled Ganon Spike, which is always it's usually gonna kill people you hit them with that. This is similar to Roy's Neutral V, where it can 2-frame people, and they're coming back to stage. It destroys them basically. It's basically a really juiced up Roy eruption that 2 frames, and also has the ability to suck people in. So this is amazing for edge guarding people. For ledge trapping sometimes. The only tech with Ganondorf that I really can think of off the top of my head, because this is not a tech character at all, is I think you can do ledge cancel. Yeah, you can ledge cancel your down B, which gets rid of all the end lag on it, which lets you mix people up. Some crazy tech you can do with ledge cancel down B, let me move back. You can do like ledge cancel down B, then side B back to stage. That can mix some people up. You can do ledge cancel down B, double jump, go to the stage. But this is probably the furthest you're gonna go with Ganondorf tech. So if you're someone who's trying to be a nerd and play a really technical lab character, or you're just trying to spend a lot of time in the lab in general with your character, just know Ganondorf probably ain't the one for that. He's more of Ganondorf is gonna be with experience and more about holding good sequences against the person you're fighting. You still can lab with him, but he's not gonna be as helped by the lab as he's just gonna be helped by more of experience in fighting someone. Like, they always say he thrives off fear. Now, your biggest weakness with Ganondorf, well, first of all, you're basically countered by every single playstyle in the game. But the biggest weakness you're going to have with Ganondorf is someone who's going to be playing a passive, low committal playstyle. I luckily got some gameplay footage out here just to show you what you're probably going to have to deal with in tourney if you do plan on playing this character. I would say the most annoying thing to fight is probably going to be someone who's playing really passive and very low aggression against you. Which it's an even bigger problem if that someone happens to be a Sonic. So I think I lose this one. Here's some footage. This is like an average Ganon game, which isn't going amazing, because I'm going to show you guys the perfect Ganon game that goes, not perfect, but a good Ganon game. So you're fighting a Sonic, and as you can tell, this guy does not want to play the game too much, so neutral is insanely hard. Everything I'm doing here is me trying to like really get in his head and read him, but for the most part, he's moving back a lot against me. So let's break down some of his tools. Jab is one of his quickest options. It's actually he has really decent normals. It's just he himself isn't that good of a character. I'm using Jab to try to stop any spin dashes or potential approaches because you cannot react to a lot of things Sonic does. So I have to throw out moves preemptively with Ganondorf to try to hope to catch him or guess on what he's going to do. So every now and then I just throw out a jab to maybe catch an approach. Sonic, however, his game plan is just to kind of run away and bait me in, so I kind of just have to deal with this. All of my approach options against him are really bad, so I would honestly suggest if you play Ganondorf, walk. I know it sounds really dumb, but sometimes walking is really useful because your approach is so bad that your best shot sometimes is walking and just slowly taking ground against the person you're fighting. I think one of the best Ganondorfs in the world, his name is Matt Bro. He made that huge upset over Spargo. He just walks sometimes, which honestly, it's not that bad of an idea to just walk. Here's Ganondorf's kind of bad recovery coming out, and I'm dead. I'm literally dead there. I saved jump and everything and just died and got edge guarded by the Sonic. So I nair him. The Sonic still keeps playing keep away, and this is really hard to get around. Especially against Sonic, because he is insanely a lot of his tools are just unreactable, so a lot of the times I'm just making a guess. Like, I can't even, like, effectively try and play neutral against him a lot of times, because, like, he can just randomly pull out something that I literally don't have an answer for unless I guessed it. I tried to get a cheesy spike there, but I didn't get it. Now he's just waiting for me to go in so he can charge F smash. I get fair. Go for up smash here. Now I'm just that was a misinput, but now I was just trying to throw stuff out to try to hopefully catch one of his approaches. But he isn't really approaching too much, so right now I'm kind of just hitting thin air. And he's just waiting for me to come to him, which once again Ganondorf really sucks at that. If I had the lead, I would honestly say I probably should just literally didn't just play for time. I know it seems lame, but sometimes Ganondorf's approach game is so bad that playing for time or just straight up not moving when you have the lead is optimal. Because that's honestly how bad Ganondorf's approach game is. Like, you can approach with him, but like Ganondorf's approach game isn't Ganondorf's approach game. It's you as a player. It's more like you doing that. Like, if you get in on someone with Ganondorf, that's not Ganondorf's tools getting you in. That's more if you got in while restricted and handicapped. Like someone attached the ankle weight to you and you still somehow managed to get in on them. That's how I would describe me getting in with Ganondorf. But sadly, I'm not one of those Ganon gods that can like approach you with this low character, so I kind of struggled against this more passive Sonic. And there I died to F-tilt. So that's a bad case scenario with Ganon. This is what you'll have to fight. I just want you to prepare if you go to tournament. Because Ganondorf isn't all highs. I say if you play Ganondorf, there's a reason why a lot of people say he's one of the worst characters in the game. Against decent players, they're not going to fall for your crap. Now, a better case scenario is if you fight a guy who's a little bit more, who you get in more. I wouldn't say more honorable. A guy who you actually get in a bit more on, and you actually get a decent fight. This was me against the Snake. We ran a little set, and this is the second game. I think I won the first game, so this is the second game. And Snake can't run away as easily, but this guy actually wants to fight me, even though he's doing a pretty good job boxing. One of Ganon's best tools is side B. You should try to read their options with it. I probably should just do more gameplay for Ganon, because Ganon's mainly gameplay and sequence. Like, he's more like in the fight to learn him. I wouldn't say there's not really too much you practice with him in the lab. He's more of I get into the fight and I practice him. You don't spend a lot of time labbing because there isn't, like I said, there's not too much technical stuff to him. He isn't an easy character, but the reason why he's harder is there's not too many tricks and tech on him. It's a lot of just I read you or I go in and I do something crazy and it works. It's more like fundies with Ganon. The biggest gimmick I'm gonna mention about Ganon is he's very easy to crap on bad players with. But the instant you fight good players, he's one of the hardest characters in the game. Ganondorf is like, I'm trying to think, Who's a character he's broken at early game and he's really bad at late game. That's the best way to describe him. If you play any MOBAs, think of him like whoever it is in the MOBA who's broken at early game, then they just fall off towards late game. That's Ganon. Like when everyone's first starting the game, we're all getting into it. Yeah, he's busted. Like he destroys people. But as everyone gets better at the game, or if you start fighting better players, he falls off very quickly. The more everyone improves at the game, the more speed matters. When you first start the game, speed kind of matters, but not everyone can effectively use it. But once you get amazing at the game, or once you get somewhat decent, speed matters a lot more. Speed and projectile. I just got to read F Smash there. Sometimes don't be afraid to start Smash attacks, as you can always read people with Ganon. Remember, just go for the reads. That's a little conversion. That's not, none of this is a true combo. That was all a sequence, but I was predicting his options and almost won. So remember, focus on predicting options with him because you're almost never going to get a true combo again. Everything you do is a sequence. It's similar to Cloud, except there's a lot less hits involved with it. So now I'm trying to get the final hit, and I'm just trying to get in through grenades. I get a nice wizard's kick on his snake. I whiffed the edge guard, sadly, I had the wrong read. I used iframes from my get up attack to get through, and there I just landed there. So yeah, Ganon is a sequence-based character, kind of similar to, imagine like, I guess kind of like Cloud, but he's slower. You don't have any true combos. Everything you do is a read or just reacting to what they do. And you do not have a projectile, so if someone really wants to wait you out and play super defensive, you kind of just gotta slowly approach him and take that, because he doesn't have too much to do against very slow approach games, sadly. I might show this game. And so this is probably going to be the end of the video because there's not too much to talk about with Ganondorf besides remember he's not a combo character, he's not a lab character, he's not technical, and he gets worse as the game goes on. Probably about to do a Sephiroth guy because Sephiroth kind of gives you all the strengths of Ganondorf but a lot more added. Sephiroth is kind of, I would say characters like Sephiroth and Snake are who you should gravitate towards if you like Ganondorf but you want to play competitively, because a similar skill set matters for them, but they're better characters. Sephiroth, Snake, Byleth. Sephiroth, Snake, Byleth, and there's one more person I have to think about. Not really Doc. Doc's kind of in the same area as Ganon. But if you do want to play Ganon, I would say mainly you pull out Ganon if you think you could just, like, let's say you're losing because of a matchup, right? Or if your character you're playing has to do combos but the Wi-Fi is bad and you can't pull off the combos. You're going to want to pull out Ganon in situations where you're not going to be able to pull off the combos or play as technically as possible, because there is no there is no technique or stuff to Ganon. It's mainly in situations where you think you can outplay this guy, but your character to outplay him has to hold these super long combos that are impossible to do high input delay. He is better when the input delay is higher, I will say that. Or if you think you could just straight up like just hard read someone, or you know you're better than someone but you're losing to them because like their character is just really annoying, and you think you might just be able to get a leg up on him, don't be afraid to pull out Ganondorf, because once again, if you are better than someone and you're playing Ganondorf, it shows. Like, if you're significantly better than someone and you're playing, I'm not significantly better than this Snake. This Snake I just kind of got lucky again. But like someone, if you're significantly better than it, it's really gonna show, and you're just gonna hold an insane advantage against them. Because usually, if you're better than someone, the easiest thing to do against them is read them. Here, I'm just getting lucky options, working out for me. The Sephiroth guy is probably gonna come out too today, just because I do enjoy playing that character. And he is kind of a similar state to Ganondorf. Except he is actually really technical, and there is stuff you should lab with him, I would say. But he's a similar state or character to Ganondorf. I tried to really sauce him up there, but he lived. The Snake was a good sport, though. He was saying GG's after every game. I think the Snake, some people do have Ganon problems because it's kind of hard to deal with Ganondorf, honestly. Like, until you learn how to deal with them, you can counter people who don't have match experience against them. Like the whole Light versus Naru situation. I don't think Naru and Light are good. I don't think Naru is significantly better than Light. I just think at the time Light just wasn't too used to dealing with Ganondorf. And it also comes down to the fact that Ganondorf is countered by edge guarding, which Fox actually doesn't really have good edge guarding too. So there's some reasons why I would say Light lost that, but it's not because, you know, Nairo's better than Light. I think they're around the same skill level. I just think it kind of came down to matchup inexperience and stuff like that. So yeah, that's Ganondorf. Your saving grace is matchup inexperience and just more experience than the person you're fighting. I wouldn't suggest mating him, but you know, he's a nice character to play on the side. He's really easy as secondary because you don't have to really practice or lab anything for Ganondorf besides maybe ledge cancel, down B. And yeah, have fun with the King of Evil and Disrespect. This is Ritzy Roy signing out.